So here we're asked to solve the following equation and to give each answer correct to 2 decimal places. And so it's just quadratic, but there's already a hint been given here that this isn't going to be a straightforward quadratic because they're asking us to give it to 2 decimal places, so it's very unlikely we're going to be able to do it using our guide number method, where we look for factors of the number on the end, which in this case is 7, which add up to -4. And of course 7 has no factors except 1 and 7, and neither of these are going to add up in any combination, positive or negative, to give us -4. And so we're going to have to use our minus b formula. And so I've just written the minus b formula here in red, and yeah, we're just going to basically be applying this now to the numbers in our question. So it looks a bit intimidating at first, but once you get used to using it, it's actually not too bad. And we just need to label a, b, and c first. And so a is going to be the number in front of x squared, and there is no number there, but if there was, it would be 1. So a is 1 in this case. B is going to be the number in front of our x, which is -4, and then lastly c is going to be our constant at the end, which is going to be -7. So hopefully that all makes sense. And now we just need to plug these numbers in to find our two values of x. And so when we plug in a, b, and c, we're going to get an equation that looks like this. And so this is going to give us two values of x, where we have, first of all, 4 plus what's in the square root, and then 4 minus what's in the square root. And I would say just be careful with your signs here as well, because you can see we've got a minus b here at the start, but our b in this question is actually negative. So our -4 becomes +4, because when you multiply any negative number by -1, you're going to get plus instead. So just watch out for that. But yeah, we're basically just going to simplify this now until we get to a stage where we're happy to plug it into our calculator. And so if we begin by just dealing with what's inside the square root and just simplifying that, we're going to get 4 plus or minus the square root is 16 plus 28, and we can immediately simplify that as well. And so we're going to end up with 4 plus or minus the square root of 44 all over 2. And I think it's kind of easier to simplify it first before plugging in the calculator to minimize the number of errors you can make just literally pressing buttons on your calculator. But yeah, so we kind of tried to avoid that here, but we got to a stage now where we can plug this in. So we're just going to do both the positive and negative case to find what I will call x1 and x2. And so when we plug this version over here into our calculator, we're going to get an answer of 5.32, correct to 2 decimal places. And I'll also just remember that they're looking for 2 decimal places here, so you need to make sure you do your rounding properly. But in any case, we can do x2 now, and this is going to give us an answer of -1.32. And one tip I give you for these questions involving the minus b formula is that you usually should have the same decimal places at the end of the numbers, because if we think about it, the complicated part here, which is the square root, is not changing. It's just being either added to 4 or subtracted from 4. So it's always a good sign if you end up with two different numbers, except that they have the same sort of decimal places at the end. But with that said, these are our two answers, and so that is going to be it for this question.